Y'all ready? It's time to talk ball with Spunky Spectrum. Let's ride! Ow. Woke up in the morning, coffee in my hand, another season about to start. I'm the fantasy man, scouting sleepers, crunching numbers late at night, building rosters that gon' shine under them lights. From rookie watch to big revenge, I see it all, stacking points while the league's watching me ball. Best ball drafting, no waivers, just pure skill. I'm taking shots, watch the whole league getting killed. Yeah, the grind don't stop, the picks stay high. When the money's on the line, I connect the dots. We're talking fantasy football, best ball drafting deep. Spunky Spectrum spinning, put a league to sleep. 15 grand on DraftKings, cashed it like a king. Now the whole damn country know I run this thing. Yeehaw, raise them up, another W in the books. Fantasy king, got the trophies and the looks. From the podcast mic to the big check in my hand, this is Spunky Spectrum boys, the fantasy man.
Yo, Big D here on a Sunday afternoon talking things World Cup stalls, surprises, shocks, US men's national team projections, and more. Driving top productions, Spunky Spectrum Sports. Before I start, happy birthday to the best mom ever. Being my mom and the one who cares so deeply about me. Secondly, she says go USA because I don't want this World Cup to end on our home turf, at least for a while. But this World Cup has been crazy with surprises, stalls, shocks, good, bad, and ugly. But you know what? Stars have come to play in North America. And you know what? With the knockout round starting today, Canada and South Africa will begin at 3 o'clock. That's noon in LA. So potentially an interesting game. Could be a nervy game for Canada, liking how South Africa rebounded after a dismal opener at Azteca where two Bafana members were sent off. But we'll see what happens there today. But you know what? Knockout round starting, which means single elimination. You win, you advance. You lose, you're out. And you don't want to be Uruguay. Uruguay washed in the World Cup right now. I would rather be playing in the World Cup. So, knockout rounds. I'll go into knockout rounds more in a little bit with some intriguing round 32 and potentially some hasty round of 16 matchups going forward. But in a 48-team World Cup, I think a lot of people knew that there would be some less than stellar second and third place sides. But how about Cape Verde finishing second in a group with Uruguay? Cape Verde's population, 540,000 people, and yet Cape Verde's in the round 32. Now, of course, they're going to play Argentina and Miami, so I'll probably be 99% Argentina and Lionel Messi fans. But yes, look, Cape Verde, and they got 3 draws and everybody's won. Well, they haven't done anything. It's like Cape Verde drew against Spain. That's saying something to draw against the European champs. And while Cape Verde's got little to no chance of being Argentina, I think it's an incredible story. What a small island and country has done. It's done, and the fact that these men can tell their grandkids in the future saying, hey, we played against Lionel Messi. That's saying something. And we love to see stories. Africa's been great at this World Cup. I think 9 of the 10 African teams are alive. Senegal. I'll talk about another surprise, DR Congo. Now, the last time DR Congo made the World Cup was back in 1974. where that country is known as Zaire. And now DR Congo, because of the result last night is in the round 32. Euro historian, thank you. DR Congo's in, beating Uzbekistan 3-1, and of course getting that member draw against Portugal. But I think it's amazing what DR Congo has been, because some of these sides haven't been to a World Cup in 50 years, and seeing DR Congo, seeing Cape Verde make great runs here. Algeria, Ghana, like Africa's put together a really good World Cup. Senegal plays Belgium next. I mean, of course, we're going to see what happens. Maybe one of those teams could cause an upset. Maybe Senegal could beat Belgium. Maybe the Ivory Coast and Norway. That will be a very interesting game. Who do you think will win the World Cup historian? I'm glad you asked that question. I'll get to it in just a little bit, but been some surprise and also some disappointments. I mean, Uruguay bowing out of the World Cup they did. I mean, drawing its first two games, and in really a lackluster game against Spain. Really no thought of scoring. I mean, Marcel Bielsa's a great manager, but his time has come, and maybe Uruguay just self-destruct. I mean, man, a player was sent off. It seemed like Uruguay. I mean, and we saw the veteran Uruguay keeper make a couple big errors second game, and then a horrible mistake in the third group game, and then he was substituted at halftime, Muslera, for the other goalie, and you wonder if he also regrets not playing the other guy over Muslera, because other than that, Spain didn't really create much, but that mistake cost Uruguay a chance at the round of 32, and they could be playing Argentina and Miami next Friday night. But very disappointing World Cup. I think I've heard that Uruguay canceled the charter plane and will force everybody back into regular plane with strangers. But Uruguay won the World Cup in 1930 and in 1950, but not making it out of the last two group stages, very disappointing. I mean, Darwin Nunez. I think Darwin Nunez forgot how to play football, because that's not the same play I remember from Liverpool. I think Spain. Well, if Spain could figure out how to get Rodri and Lamine Yamal right, because I don't think Rodri looks like himself. And I'll get to Spain in a minute here. Spain, Portugal, few sides, but I didn't really like Bielsa taking off Valverde at the 57, 58 minute when Uruguay needs a goal. Taking off your captain, not a good move. Not a good move, and the red card was just stupid. You could have argued the red should have happened earlier, but I mean, straight leg, and yeah, that's a red card in itself. Would be fun. Almost, but it just shows one team plays more defense that can get a 0-0 result. The other team can't, and a proud football nation, Uruguay can't even make it to a 32-team knockout round. They've got major issues, but interesting question. I don't know if you call it a surprise, but maybe a disappointment. I look at Spain and Portugal. I mean, yeah, Spain won the group with Uruguay and Cape Verde, but be honest with you, this Spain team looks more like the 2022 World Cup side than the same side that won the Euros. Yamal still doesn't look right. I don't think he's fully fit from his hamstring issue. And really, that Spain side's like pass, pass, pass. Like so much conservatism with Spain. And yeah, while Spain's won its group, I don't see the same Spain side from the last year. Rodri doesn't look 100%. Yamal was very quiet against Uruguay. And, frankly, I think Pedri's a little gas. And some Spain's other players. I was surprised that Danny Olmo and Perro didn't play because Olmo and Perro need to be involved, giving Spain more athleticism, more elusiveness. Perro, the right back, and of course Danny Olmo in the middle of the pitch. But Spain also suffered a couple injuries with Pino and Nico Williams. Nico Williams has not been right most of the year, but suffered another injury. Now, his participation in the knockout round becomes a big question mark. Because while Spain plays Austria in the round 32, after that, it could be Portugal or Croatia in the round 16, and then, in all likelihood, the winner of US-Belgium in the quarterfinal, and then probably France in the semi. So Spain's road after the round 32 becomes very difficult. And the time, maybe Spain could get by Austria or less than Sella, Yamal, but afterward, Spain's going to have problems. And Yamal and or Nico Williams on fire. Because, but, other than that, one game against Uzbekistan, where one game with Spain scored 4 or 5 goals. Spain's attack has been less than stellar at this tournament. Saudi Arabia. Portugal played Uzbekistan 1-5-0. Thank you. But speaking of Portugal, having watched the Portugal-Colombia match at Miami last night, I came away from that game more impressed with Colombia. I thought James Rodriguez played an outstanding game. Game really getting up the pitch, creating a lot. Luis Diaz was quiet from the left, but I really came away impressed with Colombia. And maybe a little disappointed with Portugal. Not for the goalie Diego Costa. I think Portugal could have been in trouble last night, but Portugal's got the same problem we've seen at the last World Cup in the Euros. You know who's played all 270 minutes for Portugal? One, Cristiano Ronaldo. And Roberto Martinez and Portugal got to run into the same old question. How to use a 41-year-old striker with the best midfield in the tournament. Well, did it in Houston the second game, but not the first or the third game, really. I mean, Colombia's a side that I think could make a deep run. Heck, they might even win the tournament for all we know. But I look at Portugal and wonder, maybe Roberto Martinez should have used Gonzalo Ramos. Because why is Gonzalo Ramos on the team if he's not playing? Gonzalo Ramos adds more athleticism. And I think Portugal can play without Ronaldo. Argentina, but he makes the comparison with Ronaldo and Messi. But Argentina can play with or without Messi. Now it's a different style, different way Argentina plays. I mean, yes, every team would want to have Messi. Every team would want to have Ronaldo. No, but hi, Katie Kerr. But I don't think Portugal can win this World Cup if Ronaldo's playing 90 or 120 minutes every game because Ronaldo's not going to track back and not. Yep, thank you for tuning in, Katie. But I don't think Portugal. Yeah, I'm grinding. It's a Sunday afternoon. But I don't think Portugal can win if football's coming home. Well, you know what? I'm going to talk about England next just for you, Jack. But yeah. Up the lines. Yep, 3 lines. I know, mate. But I think Portugal's got to get Gonzalo Ramos involved. I mean, you could argue maybe Portugal's got too many midfielders. Maybe Vitinha, maybe Neves, maybe Bruno. I think Portugal's got to figure out how to incorporate Bruno Fernandes. Otherwise, this team's going to end up disappointing and wasting all these great midfielders. And Portugal's group, knockout round potential is very difficult. I mean, they have Portugal faces Croatia in Toronto. By the way, have you seen the ticket prices to watch Ronaldo and Luka Modric north of the border? Whew. Could have afforded a call back in the day with how much those tickets are. And then face probably Spain, and then even face the US or Belgium, and then probably France in the semifinals. So Portugal's road by drawing last night became a lot harder because they could be on Colombia's group and have Ghana. Now, not saying Ghana will be easy, just ask England about it, but Ghana and then Switzerland, Algeria, before in all likelihood facing Argentina in the quarterfinal. But Jack Booth makes it easy. How about England? Is football coming home? Well, England won 2-0 yesterday. I mean, frankly, I think the score, I think England may have been a little unlucky and a little lucky. Lucky for whatever reasons. England's done great at set pieces. I don't know if there's something where like England and Arsenal can score a lot of set piece goals, but seemingly that's what happens. I mean, goal by Bellingham, and then of course Harry Kane doing what he's done better than any Englishman in the World Cup, and that's score goals. Harry Kane with his 11th career World Cup goal, which broke the tie with Gary Lineker. But I think there are all issues I see with this England team, Jack. Maybe Thomas Tuchel's decision to ignore or exclude playmaker passes, whether it be a Trent Alexander-Arnold, Matthew Gibbs-White, or Cole Palmer, could come back to haunt him. Because if teams are going to sit in those low blocks and playing on the counter, not having that guy to pick a pass could prove detrimental to England's chance. But Thomas Tuchel has got reasons to pick for his roster moves. He wants a more athletic roster, one that can break, one that can go box to box. That's why Jude Bellingham's in there, Morgan Rogers. And I think what we saw yesterday is that England's a very fast team, but maybe a team lacking that one pass of the football. And honestly, looking at the game, I think the right back Wenzel, whatever his name is, didn't really provide anything on the width. Spence really came in and gave England more width. And with Nico Riley, even though he's a left back, I almost see him more as a midfielder or winger because he gets up the pitch so much. O'Reilly's a big guy, bigger than me, with a great ability to head the ball. And I think having those fullbacks who can get up the pitch, widen the area, will spread out the defense, and it will provide more room for Bellingham, more room for Saka, more room for Rashford. By the way, speaking of Saka, I didn't really think Bukayo Saka looked like himself. I mean, Saka and Lee Yamal looked like two guys who haven't played or who aren't 100%. I mean, Saka's still dealing with that Achilles issue. Started yesterday, really didn't look great. And Weka came on and she looked okay, but I think England's got issues. I mean, Rashford came on, started, played the whole game, looked okay, but Anthony Gordon on the first couple games didn't look good one bit. I think Jude Bellingham was England's best player by far yesterday. Really controlled the game. Played a little deeper than we're used to seeing Elliot Anderson, of course, runs. It's like Declan Rice in midfield. Harry Kane scored his goal, but again, it can't be all on Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane. I think England's going to need help from the wide men, because other than that, if England ends up facing Mexico at Azteca, having those wide men will be huge in limiting Mexico's defensive prowess. Because Mexico and Spain are the two teams that haven't allowed a goal in this tournament. And if England's going to break on Mexico, they're going to need the wide men. And, England's defense really wasn't tested a whole lot. I mean, Pickford did make a couple saves, nothing crazy, but, Kwanzaa, Willian looked great yesterday. I mean, neither one of England's center backs, unless Stone starts, is great with the ball in his feet, so that could be an issue. I mean, Pickford, not the biggest goalie, but he started loads of games. Like, we even saw Jordan Henderson play. I bet you the Manchester United supporters are like, where's Mainu? But, there's a reason why Jordan Henderson's on this team. Maybe to provide that leadership and that calming experience to the side with some first timers, not just at a World Cup, but a major tournament, a Nico Riley or Elliot Anderson. Of course, England's path to the World Cup final starts with the DR Congo on July 1st, and then potential round of 32 matchup with Mexico at Azteca. And as an American, I don't want any part of facing Mexico at Azteca. 7,300 feet. Let me just think what time that game would be. Luckily for England, I believe that would be a night game, so not having to deal with quite the heat or humidity compared to a noon game. But still, probably the craziest atmosphere at a World Cup. And then maybe face Argentina for good measure in the quarterfinal. Excuse me, not Argentina. Who would that be? Brazil, thank you. Brazil in the quarterfinal. So it wouldn't get any easier. For England. Now, England's on the side of the bracket where Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, and Mexico. So, a lot of people are going to complain that Messi and Argentina basically have a walk through to the quarterfinals or semis, but maybe how FIFA could rank the teams is ranked them like 1 to 32, two in a way, like the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Maybe put up like expected goals scored and conceded, or expected goals conceded, because then we can figure out like who the best teams are. Okay, so it's been 25 minutes. I don't think I've really talked about the U.S. So in the 3 games, I think the U.S. looked good, especially first game against Paraguay and this first 45 minutes against Australia. Not really going to take too much from the third match against Turkey, because the U.S. basically rotated, didn't really play a lot of guys. I mean, Pulisic played the last half hour or so, but I think the U.S.'s path to a quarterfinal could be easier if we didn't have to play Belgium, but I think a quarterfinal is still very much on the line. I would be shocked if the Americans don't beat Bosnia and Herzegovina on Friday night. Oh no, Wednesday night in the Bay in Santa Clara, and then potentially play Belgium in the round of 16, rematch from 12 years ago. But of course, the U.S. and Belgium just played a friendly where Belgium kicked all sorry you know what. But from what I've seen with Belgium, I think Belgium lacks pace. Yes, Kevin De Bruyne is a great passer of the ball. Hello, Wizard. And I think the U.S. would want to make that high tempo, high pace game. Belgium will want a slow pace where De Bruyne is on the ball, and Jeremy Doku is going to be difficult. But Lukaku doesn't look right, and frankly, I feel like Belgium's, but he says Belgium's golden generation. You know what Belgium's generation is? Not winning generation. Argentina could say, yeah, they've got a golden generation. Or France, but not Belgium. And could the U.S. make a deep run to the quarters? Yes. And you know what? If we ended up playing Spain or Portugal, crazier things that have happened. I mean, the U.S. beat Portugal 2002, drew in 2014, and the U.S. beat Spain in the 2009 Confederations Cup. Crazier things can happen at this tournament. We will see what happens. Um, looking at the stalls, we know stalls come to play. Messi scoring his seventh or eighth straight World Cup game last night. Yeah, cameo and just scoring another goal for Argentina. I think Messi's got 19 World Cup goals. Messi scored 6. I didn't even play all the minutes. I mean, Kylian Mbappe scored 4. Then Harry Kane scored a few. Crazy what the stars have done this summer in the U.S. Even James, despite not scoring last night, looked great. De Bruyne scored big goal for Belgium. Crazy. Alizé. Funny, Kylian Mbappe scored 4 goals for France. I'm not sure he's been France's best player. What Alizé, of course, Dembele scored a hat trick against Norway. Holland scored basically 4 goals in 2 games. So, they're all question marks into whether Norway should have played. Guys, I mean, I don't know if Norway could have beaten France straight up, and Norway faces the Ivory Coast. But I think Norway's manager realized we're better off giving our guys a rest and having a fresher, healthier, fitter squad for the Ivory Coast match than actually going for the win, but having a more tired squad later in the tournament. So we'll see if that decision pays off. I think Ivory Coast Norway will be one of the trickier games. Mexico and Ecuador. Oof. Ecuador very strong defensively and finally scored against Germany, but Mexico at Azteca will be very difficult. Bet against, Belgium, Senegal. Ooh. I think the most interesting round 32 game must be Holland and Morocco. The Dutch finished the group stages very well, scoring lots of goals against last two games. But Morocco, made the semis of the last World Cup, and we know what Hakimi can do. I think that's a go either way game tomorrow night. I think that'll be a very tight, tense game in Guadalajara. Yes, Guadalajara. So could be so it'll be an outdoor game, heat, humidity, maybe a little bit altitude in a Mexico, but that's going to be one that. See, of course, Portugal, Croatia. Give me one more Cristiano Ronaldo, Luka Modric encounter. So 2 40-year-old men happening in Toronto. So that will be interesting to see what happens. But we'll see what happens. If you want let me see, where is it? Who do you think will win the World Cup or historian? I'm here to answer. My semifinal right now, I have France being Portugal in one semi, Brazil being Argentina in the other semi, and France being Brazil in a rematch of the 98 World Cup final. I almost thought about picking Colombia to beat Argentina. It's not that I hate Lionel Messi. Not one bit. But I worry about Argentina's lack of depth on the back end and whether Lionel Messi Argentina will have one bad game. Because Argentina's group stage could not have been any easier. Frankly. And I don't know, maybe Argentina's road to the group stage, to the quarters and semis will help, but we'll see. And I think France will be very difficult to beat. Somebody's going to have to play awful well to beat them. Then Germany in the round 16, maybe Holland, maybe Morocco, and then maybe to go to Spain. I think Spain, Portugal, I have no idea what to expect in that game. But I think I like France to win. I just think France has got so many weapons, and they could, if their belly's not playing well, they could bring on Douay, they could bring on Cherokee, they could bring on this guy, that guy. It's like Didier Deschamps can bring in so many pieces. So it's not like the defense can gear all on Mbappe, gear on Desolate on Douay or on Olise. Heck, Dembele scored a hattie against Norway. So I think the Les Blues go into the knockout round as the big favorite. But you know what? That's why they play the games on the pitch, and we're going to see what happens. Been's crazy good group stage, and I expect an even more entertaining knockout round where, there are only 32 more matches left of this World Cup. But now we're in the business end where you win, you lose, you snooze. So thanks for tuning into this show. Happy birthday, Mom. World Cup stalls, surprises, shocks, U.S. men's national team projecting, and more. Dylan's History of Sports, Spunky Spectrum Sports, Driving to the Top Productions. Also check out my Twitch page, the Big D 3300, Facebook. I'm everywhere. This is the Big D, signing off for now.